Finally. Fucking blackout.
Beautiful sky.
Fucking hell.
Cyril,
Alright, Borrance, how's it going?
I've used my last match.
Match?
Yes.
Match, football match, you mean?
No, a match.
Do you mean rugby
my
match?
last match. I had 2 matches. I've used the last one.
Ah. Football match?
No, a match for starting a fucking fire with.
I haven't heard of that one, admittedly.
Well, it's
Sure
a
you don't
means
mean a hockey match?
No, it's a means of producing artificial light.
Right. They've got artificial light now, have
They
they?
have. They have, and I find myself in the situation of unfortunately not being able to produce any such artificial light. So I'm going to be in the dark for quite some time.
That's this blackout for you, isn't it?
Well, it is, yes. It's a fucking inconvenience, in my view.
There is one good thing about this blackout, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't have to fucking every night.
Well, yeah, no. Well, I see where you're coming from, actually.
How are you getting on during the blackout? Must be quite hard over there.
Well, as I say, I had 2 matches. I was saving one for a rainy day, and then a rainy day came. Unfortunately, I lit it out in the rain. It went out. The second one I was saving for a special occasion, and I considered tonight to be a special occasion.
And as you say, you've used it up, have you?
I've dropped it. Unfortunately, I've used it up, so it's not. I've got no means of producing light. I was thinking of doing something like using my granddad's old flint and steel to set the woods outside my house on fire, which would light.
Right. Well, that would give you a little bit of light.
That would provide a certain amount of
Have you tried the other day?
Yes.
The other day, what we tried is my mate Mick, who's in the army.
I know him, yeah.
Yeah, well, he lent us one of his flashbangs, you see.
Oh, right.
And, we thought, flashbang.
Yes.
Must be a bit of light in there, so we set it off in the front room. It was a little bit too light. It did blind the baby. But I could finish my book. I only had 2 words left.
Yes.
So it wasn't all bad.
Okay.
How are you doing with that infestation problem you've got?
Well, that's another thing about
dogs?
The blackout, is that I generally, what I would do before is I would use the light of the street lamps before the foxes actually got into my garden. I would fire arrows at them out of the window, and that would normally sort them out. I would scare them off or kill them. But I obviously can't do that now. And another thing is, I keep tripping over the fox carcasses strewn about my carpet.
Have you considered taking all the fox carcasses, heaping them up into a big pile in the lounge, and just setting them on fire?
Well, no, I had thought about that.
Because you see, foxes I found are quite flammable.
Well, no, when
I used to go around the common with my lighter, just setting their tails on fire, they went running.
Yeah, well, I should imagine they would go running. If somebody set my tail on fire while I was strolling around the common, I think I'd probably...
Well, I did try that before, but if you remember, your tail isn't actually flammable.
And that would also produce a bit of light by which I could read my book at 2 a.m. as well.
Which book are you reading at the moment? I'm curious.
It's called Dutty Bints, What I Shagged in My Youth by William Wordsworth, etc., 1852.
Right. I've heard about that one. I've heard that one's quite juicy in the middle.
But I must say it's more popular than I'd normally go for. Yes.
Is that one of those sort of whack-off books I've heard about?
Yes. Well, I've been using it as...
So it must be especially hard for you not being able to read it.
Well, that's it. That's just right, yeah. Because I've been having to use my imagination. I've been having to... Yes,
sorry? What was that? Sorry?
I said I've been having to use my imagination.
What's that?
That's what, when you think about something, you conjure up an image
What's
of it
that?
in your mind.
What's think?
Well, I know you haven't been able to think since the accident, but...
Well, there's a lot of things I haven't been able to do since the accident, if I'm being honest with you.
No. Well, I imagine probably most things, actually, you've been quite impeded in.
But there was one thing I could do, which this blackout has unfortunately taken from me.
Oh, yes.
If you remember, I was building that 2-scale model of the Eiffel Tower using quail's eggs.
I do. I remember you
locally
mentioning
sourced
that.
quail's eggs.
Quite a hard thing to forget, yeah.
Yeah, I got about 50 foot up, but well, the thing with this blackout, I can't go and gather the eggs from the nests.
No, quite right, actually. Now it's dark and you've not got the street lamps to help you out. Yes.
Yeah, what I used to do, of course, is go up a ladder.
Yes.
And inside the nest would be a little quail and his eggs.
Yes.
And I'd take the eggs to add to my sculpture.
Yes.
And then I'd grab the quail and take it home and cook it for tea.
Yes.
So now I can't have any tea either.
It must have made it particularly challenging going up the ladder, seeing as quails lay their eggs on the ground.
Well, exactly.
Yes.
Although, I will say, I went to my doctor the other day.
Yeah.
My head doctor.
Okay.
And he said, I told him that, and he said, why don't you just do it in daylight?
Well, that'd defeat the fucking object, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because that's what I told him. What fun is there in gathering quail's eggs in midday?
Well, completely defeats the thrill, doesn't it?
Like, imagine you were to go out and, stomp on your foxes in the day.
Yeah, well, I very well could do, because they're cheeky enough to come out during the day, but there'd be no fun in it, would there? Another thing I found myself ill-equipped to do during the blackout is what I would normally do of a summer's night, is I would go outside naturally and I'd turn the barbecue on and I would cook my baked beans on the barbecue and my mashed brown in a pot, and I'd mix them together on the barbecue and cook them in a big pot. But unfortunately, since the blackout kicked in, I've been unable to do that.
Is that how you cook your beans and mashed brown?
That's how I cook my baked bean and mashed brown. Yes.
That's interesting. You see how I do it? Is I put it in a little container.
Yes.
I drop it in the bath.
Well.
And I run the bath on hot until it cooks.
Well, I did do that for a time, but as you know, I've not had access to hot water for quite some time. The way I used to do it, obviously,
you did get rid of your bath, didn't you?
I did. I got rid of my bath, and my boiler was not really a boiler so much as the rest of the matches from the matchbox. Just.
Have you considered? This might be a bit of a controversial suggestion.
Go on.
I don't want to step on any toes here.
Yeah.
But have you considered going round the shops and getting another box of matches?
Provocative cunt.
Look here. No, you look here, Simon Toaster. I've had just about enough of you. Pulling your funny little games. I've had enough, Simon Toaster. Simon Toaster. Simon Toaster. Simon Toaster.
You alright, Tone?
Yeah, mate, you alright?
I am. I was thinking about the conundrum that we find ourselves in now with all, with the lockdown and everything.
Yeah, mate, I was actually going to call you later. It's a bit of a spanner in the works, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
We can't go down the club, we can't wear our feet down to a nub, we can't rock with Daniel, we can't cock a spaniel, we can't cook eggs, we can't deprive men of their legs, you can't again, I can't carry out my usual routine of working in a bar, Amy can't carry out her usual routine of working in a bra, I can't carry out my usual routine of working in a bar in a bra, Stanek can't live on people's roofs anymore.
No, he's still doing that.
Oh, well, good. But the point still stands. I can't sell my clutter, Kearsley can't dwell in a gutter, we can't all chip in to help protect Prince Philip from harm like we usually do, and we definitely can't go forward with the various heists we've been planning.
No, because obviously now it's illegal.
Well, it was illegal anyways.
No, well, going outside is illegal, so it's sort of straw that broke the camel's back, yeah.
And I don't know how long this woman had been standing in the doorway, but she'd heard me and Kai say some pretty incriminating things. I didn't really know how to deal with the situation, so I just kind of barged past her and left Kai there to fend for himself.
Yeah, he did seem a bit pissed off about what he only described as your transgression.
I'm just missing the way things used to be, you know?
Yeah.
I won't deny some of the group of wet flannels. I think we both know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really damp flannels. Like, boiled flannels. Boiled decade-old tea towels.
Yeah, no, I know the specific bloke to whom you're referring. I think it'd be obvious to anyone except him.
Anyway, I've ordered a shipment of Hot Wheels cars. I just don't know where to get them dropped off. Because normally, obviously, someone would just drive them to the middle of the South Downs and we trek out there and get them, but...
The thing is, I'm starting to question the practicalities of reenacting the gunpowder plot with Hot Wheels cars and potash.
If the idea of the whole of Parliament going down in a sea of molten plastic doesn't get you off, I just don't know what to say.
No, fair enough.
Honestly, this IPA is okay. Would I buy it again? No. Am I going to continue drinking it? Yes.
There's no two ways about it. We've been bastards and we're going to get arrested.
Made it. Now, we didn't actually build it, but I can't tell you who did.
Time to do what should have been done a long time ago.
No, it stands for shake hands. No.
So, we were living in this alleyway in the Czech Republic, and we'd been out for a bit to eat, seeing the sights as you do. We came back to the house and that's when everything got a bit fucked. Something really dark happened.
You happy to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm glad to talk about it. So TJ walks into the room and you ever seen that video of that little kid saying, "Life's short, stunt it"?
No, I don't think so.
Well...
Life is short. Stunt it. Wow!
So I get this call at 2 a.m. that TJ had died.
He died?
Yeah, they told me that he'd just scuttled onto the ceiling like some kind of spider and had fallen off and broken his back. And at this point I'm genuinely terrified, right? I think that my friend has died. Imagine that kind of panic. And I'm all the way at home, so I can't do anything about it. You feel useless, you know? So I go into this frenzy of panic and I run out of the house and I climb up this massive wall in town and then jump off as a show of solidarity with TJ. It's just kind of what you do as a friend, isn't it?
You jumped off deliberately?
Well, I tried to do it by accident, but that didn't work.
So you did it deliberately instead?
Yeah.
So I got a call saying that Nikki had either fallen or jumped off a building and was now dead.
Who was the call from?
Well, someone had picked up his phone and I was the top contact.
Well, that does make sense given your initials are AK. So his phone has survived then?
Well, as it turns out, not only did his phone survive, but he also did.
How's that?
That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
So TJ jumped off the floor and explained that he was only joking. Then we all had a good laugh. We apologised to the ambulance crew, and then we all sat in this weird, empty cafe that was attached to the place we were staying, and we all had a few drinks. Then I got this call.
So I called Kai, pretending to be Kiersey, telling him that I was dead.
Why'd you do that?
Well, in case Kiersey hadn't told him yet.
So you wanted him to think you were dead?
No, you're not understanding. I wanted him to know that I was dead. It was important that he knew.
But you weren't dead?
Well, yeah, I know that now.
The main problem is optics. It doesn't look very good if two members of the gang die at the same time. In two different countries. It makes you look weak. So me and my mate started work on the animatronic models.
Had nobody called you saying TJ was still alive?
Well, that's the thing, because Nikki called Kai on my phone. Kai thought Nikki's number was my number.
Oh, right. So how far were you from Nikki at this point?
It was about 3 blocks away.
You didn't think to go and check?
I can't afford to be seen by the police.
So, when Nikki called me, pretending to be Kiersey, I told him that TJ was still alive.
How did you react to that?
Honestly?
Yes, please.
Seemed just a smidge disappointed.
So I wanted to call Kiersey to clear up the confusion, but they took my phone away in the ambulance.
You're in an ambulance?
Well, yeah, man, I just jumped off the flipping building.
Oh, right, yeah.
Anyway, so it was 4 days before I got to Kiersey's house to tell him that it was all a big joke, but by then he'd already built the animatronic models.
They were fully articulated. I was halfway through programming the AI using messages that Nikki and TJ had sent to the chat. And then Nikki knocked on my door and said it was all a big joke.
How did you feel about that?
Oh, to be honest, I was pleased more than anything. And then we got the news about Birchall.
Fuck!
Yes, ambulance, please. What did you think when you heard that?
Well, I can't say I was pleased.
What a sorry turn of events. The government has tried a few things over the years, but they have really gone and done it this time. Just as the Labour and Conservative parties get together as one coalition government, a crime wave hits the southeast, the details of which I will not divulge for dramatic reasons. What a state of affairs we find ourselves in. That men, the identities of which will become clear in the following clip, may be allowed to wander the southeast, committing crime of that nature.
understand. You're underground, an old man. You've lost a few grand. Ticket man, what do you remember? What have you accomplished now? Oh, ticket man. Down by the ocean, down by the sea, I met an old fisherman. He said to me that I should be down by the ocean. Brilliant sun in an overcast sky. The wind from the sea ripped chills to my spine. Yet I feel